Okay, so language of design is, in all, what it really is a guide. Okay, so what the language comprises of are all these different elements. Okay, so from the quick read of a character, when I was talking about it, it was like, is this character the good guy? You know, do they have a soft silhouette? Do they have a strong, scary silhouette? You should be able to identify who that is that you're looking at. Are they like the monster that shows up every now and then in, the show? You know, so that's like one element of design that encompasses the language. And when I say language, it's like communication, an understanding of what design is and how it comes together so that we can create a better understanding of what we're looking at. So with that in mind, one, we talk about silhouette. Two, we talk about personality. So I say personality because like you could design any character, but their personality is going to come through in a couple of different ways. One will be the clothing that they wear. Okay. A lot can be said about a character with what they're wearing, whether they have like a suit of armor that makes them look like a royal guard, or someone who is a maid who takes care of, someone's house, or, the waiter in the cafe who's secretly, a demon hunter by night. Clothing can say a lot about someone. It says a lot about culture as well, like looking at the difference between different parts of the world and the kind of patterns that show up in not only in our history, but even in our modern day. Like that says a lot about the whereabouts in the world that someone is. It also says about what they're interested in. If someone's dressed very modernly and, in comparison to everyone who has more of a, traditional, pattern outfit, it says a lot, about someone. And it's part of communicating who this character is. It's part of language, language of design. This is what this encompasses. And, that goes on to scale. When I say scale, it's like, you have a really, really tall character, and he's taller than everyone else, everyone else in the show is like this, or in the video game, they're like, this is the norm. Everyone's this tall, but our main character is really, really tall. That in itself says a lot about whether it's your game, your movie. It already says quite a bit because, everyone's used to this. No one expects anyone to be any taller than, let's say 5 foot. And this person's like 10 feet tall. That already says something. It says something that, maybe people are scared of anything that's different, or it makes our characters stand out even more. They're different. That is part of design, language of design. It's trying to communicate where they belong, who they are, or just something cool. Sometimes it's just that basic thing. Like you get that on a project, there's countless times where I just hear a director say, make it look cool. And you're like, okay, I'm going to make it look cool. But at the same time, I'm going to do all these other things that you don't notice. But that's because I put the time and the effort to understand that in order for this character or characters to exist in a world, I need to communicate their language, you know, their design language. You know, am I using hard edges? Am I using soft? You know, that's part of it. And all of that encompasses into story. So what do I draw? All right. So this is going to have a lot to do with your first assignment. So keep this in mind. You need to figure out what you like. So we had a question earlier where someone was saying they wanted to work for like Marvel. So I think trying to figure out where you want to work or the kind of things that you like is really important. It's going to help you develop faster, and it's going to help you be more focused. Because like if you're the kind of person that's just like you're grabbing at everything, you're interested in everything, that's amazing. But it might be a little bit harder to find what you're looking for when you have nothing really set in mind. So I'd say think about the things that you like. Like if there's a book that you really love, like Ready Player One, you know, if that's like your favorite book and you want to design like characters for that kind of world, then go for it, you know? So like, what do you like? So do you like fantasy, sci-fi, nature? You know, do you like food? You know, try to figure out that right ahead. I'd say try to figure out what you like, pick a theme, you know, if it's like, 1980 Demon Slayer, you know, try to have fun with it, mix things around, you know, and moving on to that, I would say personal taste. You know, what's your aesthetic? What's your style? What are this encompasses with what you like. You know, example will be I like anime. Like I love anime. Like anime, comics, a lot of different types of comics. The graphic style that I see in comics, like the heavy inked lines, you know, the gradients, and you know, all the graininess from like screen toning from manga, like that kind of stuff really gets me, like it really hits my soul. Like I love that stuff. So I'd say, you know, think about the things that you love, you know, think about the projects that you would want to work on. For the sake of this class, I would say choose something that you like, because it's going to make a very big difference in this class. You'll feel more invested, especially when it's something for yourself. So another thing that I want to talk about is trying something new. So this is also really big on challenging yourself. Now, when I say that, let's say, you know, you're the kind of person that likes to draw, you know, fairies a lot, or zombies. Let's say you're always like, I love drawing zombies a lot. Well, then maybe try something to mix it in, like maybe zombies in, you know, what is it? Like a really happy dappy place that's full of gumdrop bears. That's just a crazy example. But like, I would say try to mix some things, like, you know, sci-fi robot mixed in with nature. You know, you have a robot that has like flowers that are coming out of its innards, you know, it's becoming something new and different. It feels old, but for some reason it's still sci-fi. You know, trying to mix these things really helps. Like another example I gave was like 1980s Demon Slayer, you know, taking, you know, the fashion from the 80s and mixing it with like really cool swords and armor on a character, like blending two different themes together. Personally, that's what I do a lot with my kind of work. Like I try to find a way to mix more than one thing together to get something new. You know, so I'd say, you know, you don't have to, especially if you're starting out. But I'd say try to find ways to challenge yourself, like learn something new. Like I wouldn't say for this class, you don't have to do an extensive research, but if you're really bad at drawing nature with characters, do some research, like challenge yourself, learn something new. Okay, so yesterday I did a few roughs on my own. And as you can see, they're super rough. A lot of you looking at these might be like, what the heck is that? Like, honestly, I don't know what that is, but that's okay. What I'm trying to show you guys is, you don't have to make something so clear and, detailed. You can start off with something really blobby, something really loose, and that's okay. A lot of the times when I have an idea that just pops into my head, I need to put it down really quick. So I draw a bunch of lines, a bunch of shapes, and I'm like, okay, good. I'm going to take this and fix it later or now. So that's what we're going to do here. I'm going to take one of these designs and I'm going to push it a little bit further into the next phase. So for me, when I was looking at them, like, honestly, one of these are going to be okay to use. But for me, I'm probably going to go with this one. I like this one.